One day of practice in.
Yeah. You know, for our guys, I feel like over the last 9 weeks, you talk about 40 new players on the roster, over 40. Our guys have tried like heck to get to know each other and become a team so that today we could get out there and focus on the ball. And I think our energy, our effort, our attitude today, really good. I feel like from a roster standpoint, where we are today compared to a year ago today, completely different. And so excited about, you know, being able to get into spring ball a little more, get pads on here in a few days and get to work.
It's hard to tell on day one a whole lot of stuff, but you can definitely see a difference in the guys out there, their body types, things like that. Do you see that? Do you think that you've kind of overhauled it a little bit there?
Yeah, I think without a doubt. You know, and when I talk about the roster being completely different, that's really what I'm talking about. I'm not real sure right now today who the best ones are that we got. And I think that's natural with the way the roster is and the way the roster turnover is. So as we get into it, I think the best part again is the fact that our bodies are completely different from a D-line standpoint, night and day. From a backer standpoint, again, night and day. I think you look at our quarterback room and the physicality that's in that room and some of the things they're going to be able to do from a depth standpoint, night and day. So we got a ton of work to do. Man, our guys have been incredibly willing and have had just unbelievable energy inside the building, which we got to have.
What's it been like with Coach Lodeholt and Dancy kind of joining the staff now and getting to work here on the field?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously with Big Phil, you know, he's just got such great familiarity with me, which has been awesome. And so that's been incredibly seamless. I think it's been great for the outside backers and the jacks, you know, and the DNs to be able to have Coach Dancy here and being able to split it up with DT coaching the inside guys. You know, there's just a lot more one-on-one, which I love, and I think is really, really good for us. So both those guys have great energy. They got great toughness. They got great knowledge in the game, and excited about where we're going with them.
Kind of take us through the process with Stonka and kind of switching to safety. I know you obviously still play both. Kind of made it.
You know, we did. We felt like at the end of it, we had the opportunity in the receiver room. You know, some things changed, but knew we were going to be able to get some really good players, and I think we have. Stonka got a chance to be an incredible player at whatever he does. I think on the defensive side of the ball, he gives us something that you know we haven't had, and from a playmaking ability standpoint. And he does. He's a guy that's got great instinct, got great instincts for the football. He's got great physicality. I'm proud of that dude for buying into it and wanting to do it and being excited about it, while we're still going to have the ability to sprinkle him in on offense and doing some things. So, and he's taken it, he's ran with it, and excited about where that's going to end up.
In terms of the defense, just with the roster moves and some of the coaching changes you talked about, where do you just see some of those biggest improvements for this season's team?
Yeah, today, after not being in pads day one, the biggest improvement is the body type, the length, the size. The guys that are over 300 pounds that have the ability to move weight in this weight room inside the rack, the guys that have had production playing the position at other places, that's what's in the room right now. And again, I'm excited about that.
You added two, not only former defensive coordinator, but two head coaches to your staff. What does that add to your staff as a whole, and what's their role in the practice field?
Yeah, and Coach Dancy, obviously a head coach as well. So all three of those guys, but having Paul and Mac here, guys that I've coached against and have a ton of familiarity with, they bring experience. Both been great defensive coordinators. Both have been great head coaches. Have worked at big time places, in Power 5, Power 4 leagues, and so for me, man, just having those guys as an extra set of eyes, you know, Mac being able to help me just from a programmatic standpoint and looking at some things, while being able to help with the DNs, outside backers, and then, you know, Coach Rhodes being able to help the corners and being in the defensive room. They both are every single day. So again, just another set of eyes and ears, man, that have seen it, have lived it, have had a bunch of success. And these are two guys that are incredibly loyal, that love football, and they're all in, which has been awesome.
Obviously, you're going to be cautious with Seth Davis, but how was it to see him back out there?
Yeah, we'll be really cautious. We'll be slow to go with Seth and just try to work him back in as we see fit.
Running backs for him last year.
Everybody was new with you. How much does having these veterans who've been with you for a year, how much does that make a difference? And who are some of the guys on day one that you see kind of being leaders?
Yeah, you know, the automatic guys are Blake Shapen, obviously, is a guy that understands what we want and how we want to go about it. think about Isaac Smith on the defensive side of the ball, a guy that knows how we want it done and what it's all about. So those two guys have been great. There's been more. We're going to continue to need more. I've said it, leadership to me knows no age. Guys that do the right thing, that are in the building, that spend time nonstop, those are the guys that are going to create leadership for our team and take us where we want to go.
This time last year, I asked you about the running back room, and you said that room had to get better. Now, a year later, how do you feel about that room?
I feel really good about the room today. We got to do a great job of keeping those guys healthy and giving them a bunch of reps. But that room today, we've completely flipped it in a calendar year. There's incredible depth, and excited about that room. Great competition.
You beat out a lot of teams for Fluff too, and you look out there and it just looks like an SEC back. We know what kind of season he had last year. What kind of dynamic does he add to what you want to do offensively?
Yeah, he's going to be a big, powerful, fast guy, and so that guy's had again success at a different place, not this level. But what I love about Fluff is he's worked. He has come in here and worked his butt off. That entire room, that whole room, nobody's on the list. Everybody takes care of their business. They do things the right way, and so to me, it's a credit to who's leading that room every single day, and Coach Tuck, and credit to how we've recruited and the guys that we've signed.
You mentioned Blake, coming back and showing that leadership. What are the guys' respect level for him, especially coming off the injury and still taking care of his business?
Yeah, I mean, everybody inside our program has great respect for Blake because of the way he plays the game. I mean, the guy he'll die for you, and he'll inspire every single day. And so he does. He spends more time in this building than anybody inside our program. That's the expectation. That's what we're going to have to get it done. And he'll continue to do that for us.
I've seen a lot of programs choose to do away with the more traditional spring game.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that? Obviously, you're still having one this year. So what do you see as the value of having one?
Yeah, our guys need to play. We've got such a new roster, a different roster. There's been so much turnover. Our guys need to be in competitive situations and go play and put in position to make the play, or guys not make the play. We need to be able to evaluate that for 15 true practices. The more game type situations I think we can be in, the better for us.
Physically, you can really see Kamaro is super impressive for a true freshman, but I know there's going to be that wall that those guys hit, or some areas he needs to improve. And what do you think is the biggest thing for him right now in these first few practices?
Yeah, just understanding the speed of everything. I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing for him. He's really done an unbelievable job of working his butt off to get himself to this point. I'm talking about in the film room, in the meeting room, and spending time. I think it's a huge credit to Blake. It's a huge credit to Luke. And that room right now is really strong. It's very competitive, and we got guys that understand what it takes to be a quarterback from a time standpoint and an expectation of how you got to operate. And so he got a great future ahead of him.
Going into your second spring now, what's more streamlined this year, more efficient this year, maybe from your first spring as a head coach?
It's top to bottom. At everything from our schedule to what the expectation is from nutrition, what the expectation is in the weight room, every part of our program being in year 2, everybody understands what we want. We didn't have a turnover. We really didn't. We added some guys in, but you look at us programmatically, everybody is back. And I think that's a huge deal in today's game. There's so much change on a roster. You have the ability to be the same from a staff standpoint. You got a chance to take the jump that you need to jump.
How would you kind of assess the offensive line room right now?
Yeah, we're still in the middle of assessing that. We're not where we want to be, and we'll continue to recruit at a high level there. We'll continue to look spring portal there. That's the reality of it. We got to add some pieces inside that room, but we'll get to where we need to get.